Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program on Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. This is, sometimes they used to say, beware the eyes of March. Well, we're in the month of March, a significant month in the history of Grenada. And we're on RealFM 91.9, 91.5. We're on YouTube and Facebook. And we always encourage you to subscribe to our program. Subscribe. So as soon as the program comes on, you will be notified. And share our program and like our program. We have to sometimes push local content, We're competing in a world where we have media magnets. And if we don't push ours, nobody would. So even sometimes that you don't agree with some aspect of the program, share it with your friends. They might agree with you too. And you could make comments, you could make suggestions on our program, and you can introduce new topics. The number to call is 4420175. We have a war going on between Ukraine and Russia. Russia is a nuclear power. Some people call it a proxy war. United States and some countries in Europe is supporting Ukraine. Ukraine have about 36 million people. But a lot of the population has fled. So what you might have now in Ukraine are more soldiers. And they support family members. Russia have about 136 million people. United States of America have over 336 million people. So Russia, these countries are very big, but they have not been that welcoming to immigrants. The United States of America is the most cosmopolitan country in the world. You find people from every breed and race in the United States of America. And I always say it's one of the best countries that a black man have an equal chance in terms of the developing country. You could have a black president in the United States of America. Some of the other countries, maybe we have to wait 100 years for that. But in Grenada here, we have a lot going on. We have the intercall. It's going on now. The different secondary schools are manning it out for supremacy. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, welcome, brother.
But first of all, before we go further, I want to say just go Tangerine Bullets. That's my team for today. We go in green all the way. GBSL. Yeah. Shots fired. Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, go right ahead.
Have you had a chance to listen to that press conference with the Prime Minister, Minister of National Security, and the Commissioner of Police, and the ACP? Have you had a chance?
Yes, I've listened some, generally.
Right. Now, in this country here, I would say we have journalists, and probably, let's say, I would say 70% of the journalists are females, right? Now, Women's Day, I think, was Friday last week, or whatever day it was. It was, but we celebrating women. And here you have people, a female journalist asks a question of the Prime Minister and Minister of National Security. And what we are getting confused with is the question. And that journalist is being dragged as a female and being called all sorts of names. In my view, I would call it abuse, right? This journalist asks the PM as Minister of National Security. She didn't ask the PM as Deacon Mitchell, personal human being. She asked him as Minister of National Security, are you prepared or are you going to take responsibility for what has happened? And he said no. He gave an answer, we collectively will take responsibility. We share responsibility. I don't know what that means to other people. I am listening to a program presently as we speak, where one individual on that panel is trying to explain that the PM, as Minister of National Security, the buck stopped with him. And do you know that his his co-host doesn't understand what he's saying, and he's the bad one, and he's on their side in it. And he's explaining exactly what Linda Stricker meant. That is to show you how far up or how far down we are going down a rabbit hole where one of your own, and that guy who I'm talking about is a journalist himself. He's explaining to his co-host the question was right. The journalist is not asking the PM as himself personally. We have a breakdown in the law of the land right now. If you are not talking to the commissioner of police, if you are not talking to certain sectors of the police, the buck stops at you. So if there are reports being made of a certain police station that is not of the standard, and you, Mr. PM, is not talking to the commissioner of police, how would the report reach to you? How is that so hard to understand? This is not about hating NUC and hating Deacon Mitchell. This is about taking responsibility and accountability. Two different words here. Accountability and responsibility. The police at the time are responsible for what happened, but you, brother, have to give accountability and acknowledgement of what's been going on. It takes you 23 or 24 days to come forward and answer questions to the press. Before that, you went to a press conference saying that you will be giving out questions for reporters to ask you. We are not in that state in Grenada yet. We are not in a republic state yet, which you want to bring it at. That's the only kind of places these things work, right? We are close to the country. We are very small. And you are dodging questions that gives more questions to the questions that have been asked you. And then your team or your goons in your camp who support you blindly just running and maligning people's name, calling people all sorts of names, and a female like that, and a very decorated female journalist like that. When are we going to stop this nonsense in Grenada, man? Prime Minister, Minister of National Security, I won't call you any kind of wrong name, brother. So, get it right, get it straight. It doesn't look good, and your supporters, I'm not calling no NECI, because I personally wouldn't say NMPI to NECI. There's no NECI to NMPI. They are party supporters, and they are party members. The supporters of your party, you need to talk to whoever is advising them on stuff, because trust me, you can't have people on the radio maligning reporters' name. Reporters are the people that gets us information that we need to know. Social media alone is not working, because social media can swear information how you want it. If I want to put a piece of propaganda right now, I can put it out, but I wouldn't. That's what social media does. So we have to depend on our respected journalists, regardless of who they support, what political strategy they support, who they be around. But there's a clear breakdown, Mr. Prime Minister, in the national security of our country. And kudos to the police officers that do that good job, that we capture the prisoner. We can say a little bit relief now. But trust me, what I'm hearing right now is very disturbing, and you need to get your feet on the ground and take command and take accountability and responsibility. Mr. Pierre, have a good afternoon.
Yes, Scholar, thank you, and I agree with you. The Prime Minister and the government, the government is responsible for the deterioration in crime in our country. I believe the Prime Minister and his team is chiefly responsible. And the Prime Minister have to learn to take responsibility. What I told you, we have to prepare to stand the consequences of having a government like that. But we have to continue to speak. That will help us manage the impact. I have called on many occasions for some of the elders in the NDC to hold dialogue with the Prime Minister and his team. It's a wayward bunch of vultures. They are extremely disrespectful. They introduce restorative justice. They set up a ministry for political mischief. And they undermining the effectiveness of the police force. In the last 2 years, the Prime Minister and his team has done quite a lot to undermine the integrity, the effectiveness, and the management of the police force. The Prime Minister went and embraced what seems to be an illegal substance. And as a result, in the presence of the police, and as a result, a number of Rastafarians are having functions and bringing weed trees with them. That is what Maurice Bishop did in the 1979-1983 period. He came to the Holy Spirit and he told the villagers you could plant weed. He was bombarded with questions from rank and file Grenadians. He said, don't cut down your banana and cocoa, your nutmeg and cocoa, but you could plant weed. They asked him, could I plant weed in my flowers garden? One young man said, my father have over 100 acres of land. You know what one weed tree is? And then, as a result of that, a young man went to the police and said, they take me weed and I know who take it. The police tried to get him out from the police station. But he accused the police of being counter-revolutionary. And they went with him. They brought him in from the magistrate. And they gave him 2 years in prison. Deacon Mitchell embraced an illegal substance in the presence of the police. Deacon Mitchell committed a crime. The police should have charged him. But because he is the prime minister, they didn't. And naive, ordinary citizens believed they could flaunt weed and weed smoking in the presence of the police. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. And how are you today?
Great, man. Good, man.
The question I want to ask, what they charge, these 4 policemen, I understand, they say they charge for what happened with these 3 men that got away from the South St. George place. What they charging them for?
Well, obviously, in light of that, Deacon does not take responsibility. And as such, the commission and the others don't take responsibility. So based upon how the system is, a younger one or people of lower rank have to face the truth.
Well,
in the public service, when the heads of department don't take responsibility, they blame the rank and file worker.
Well, I don't see why they have to, if, as I understand, I have to say, is young trainers. You train somebody for 4, 5, 6 weeks. Then you let them go in as to keep duty with criminals with a place where don't properly secured. I don't find why they have to charge these people and this young police and them. But I know if it's this police and them parents, when they have no right to charge them.
Most of these parents are poor parents. It's difficult for them to fight this system. They will have to take thousands of dollars to pay lawyers. And by that time, they will be so fed up, they might just end up leaving the force.
That's the reason why they want to give them...
It's difficult for them to fight this system.
Them supposed to get pressure.
They will spoil their name. They will tarnish them. The Prime Minister himself, what the Prime Minister did was wrong. He showed a name in the public.
He's supposed
to showed a name in the public. So he want to practically put pressure on the police that is judging the case to penalize them.
But he is the one to take responsibility.
This is a corrupt group of vultures. We selected a group of vultures to lead this country. So we have to try to manage the impact.
Look at what happened in Carrick-Wiggin with this stepfather that caused this child death again.
But we have to remember a man is innocent unless proven guilty.
Well, yes. If it's
so let us...
But all what I'm saying, I find they should bring back capital punishment, hanging.
Well, you see...
I find they should bring back hanging.
We must not let cases like that. What you have is a rush of emotion, expressive emotion when you have incidents like that. The question we need to ask ourselves, what do we do to reduce and minimize these incidents in society? Because you'll always have sexual incidents. You'll always have sexual abuse. What do we do to prevent a child from getting sexually molested?
But some of us mother have to be blamed too.
I believe we could do a lot.
Yes.
We have children 13, 14, 15 years. The level of supervision they need, they don't have it.
They don't have it.
We have situation now where children 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years is exposed to pornography.
Yes.
We have a situation where the secular world has diluted the significance of religion.
Yes.
And as such, we don't cherish virginity anymore.
True.
We don't cherish single partners and marriage anymore.
No, they get rid of that.
And our children are bombarded with this level of filth in the society while we turn our eyes and ears
from it. Yes,
and every time an incident comes, we are asking for stiffer penalties. And if a man end up in a sexual act with anybody, a woman, a child, because of the penalties, because of the hostility they're likely to face, they're more likely to smother the life out of the victim.
Yes, true.
So we might be the very thing we're against. We might be contributing towards it.
All right, Mr. Pierre.
Yes,
have a nice
thank you.
God bless.
Yes. The number to call is 442-0175. And as I say, the Prime Minister of Grenada and his other members of government have contributed directly to the increase in crime. They have contributed directly to what is going on in the management of the police force. They have interfered with the chain of command. The Prime Minister has been reluctant to respond to the crime, to say anything. The society had to be bawling in the head to say something. The Prime Minister embraced an illegal substance and give the ordinary, unsuspecting individuals that they could do the same. When the question of gun, the Prime Minister say, that is not my responsibility. And as such, the criminals believe this is a pass for them to do what they want. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, what I want to ask you is this. Is there any trade union in the country?
Yes, we have trade union.
Well, Father, see that all the workers, the workers that have been fired, that the trade unions take money from them, they aren't doing anything.
Generally, the workers that have been fired are not really represented by the trade union. They might be in the bargaining unit, and as a result of that, they're paying agency fee. But the trade unions don't generally consider them as a member.
All right. And look again. Look at the 4%. They're supposed to pay it already, and the public workers salary. Up to now, nothing has been done. And furthermore, the government still take they pay act, right? So I want to know what is really going on.
No, you have to understand, the trade union in Grenada or anywhere else, they're not responsible for productivity. They don't care much about management departments. The main objective, the main duty, the main responsibility is for the workers. And once the workers get in their money, generally the trade union don't care. In addition to that, the trade union, it seems that historically they support the NDC. So that is their government in power. So they'll be very soft on dealing with them.
Well, we are in a sad situation in Grenada.
No,
I'm very sorry.
What we
We're
need
in a
to
very
do,
sad situation.
what we need to do is to recognize the situation that we're in. We have a government
All right.
I think what we need to do is to recognize the situation that we're in. We didn't walk in that situation with our eyes closed. The government sold an unrealistic package to the public, and we bought it in total. The government lied to the public, and we bought that. They promised ham, jam, and lamb. We agree with that. They promised to get a net to collect all the seaweed before it reaches shore, to manufacture it and sell it. We buy that. They promised to use Greentel truck, either lend it or rent it, to shake down coconut, mango, and guava. We buy that. They promised to make everybody in the working with government permanent. They say there is no need for a parallel public service. We buy that. So we were naive. And now we must stand the consequences and manage the impact. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, when a child renovates his father's house, does that make the house his?
No, right. Not his house at all.
Okay, all right. Now today, we are witnessing the third day of intercall. And despite the fact that the president of the Grenada Union of Teachers has complimented the NDC for renovating the stadium and putting on a new track, I want the youth of this nation to understand that it was the vision and executed by Dr. Kit Mitchell to build the stadiums in Grenada, something that the NDC opposed. So, as you participate on the synthetic track today at the National Stadium, it is Dr. the Right Honorable Kit Mitchell and the new National Party administration that has taken you from grass to synthetic track. And all the praises and all the glory belongs to the new National Party administration. I close my case, and parents, especially those who are inclined and affiliate to the NNP, must tell their children that the tracks you are running on today is thanks to Dr. Mitchell, because these children would be able to vote not too long from now, and they must know the facts. The development of St. George and the development of Grenada, that infrastructure you are on now, and that you are enjoying yourself on, that is the vision of a government who cares about the youth of this country, that you can propel to international status. Have a good evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, and we have to understand the leader of that union seems to be a very active member of the National Democratic Congress. He called for the head of Public Workers Union members that seems to be green, or the perception is that they have green blood. He called for the head. He showed no solidarity with members of the Public Workers Union that lost their job and were fired. He advocated that fools could make money, but wise men to sell it. The union, Public Workers Union members never challenged him, never took issue with him, never take that union leader to the Grenada Trade Union Council. That convinced me that the union leaders is hostile to the people in the lower income group. They are hostile to the people that appear or seem, or the perception exists that they have green blood. The union does not even act with any energy to salvage the workers that was fired, some of them up to 19 years service. And the union has no interest in holding the government to account for the lies they told. I am wondering if the union was in the lab when these lies were planned. I constantly, it's a sad day because the union seems to be part and parcel of the lies put out by the government. This Prime Minister of Grenada dabbled with the occult. First act that should send shivers to the trade union and Christians in general, that you have a prime minister that dabbles in the occult. He compounded by claiming morality is a private thing. The prime minister should tell us how many millions, how much millions of dollars that was provided in loan for 4 ministers of his government from the GDB Bank. The union has not challenged that. The union has not responded to the fact that the government intends to commercialize the Grenada Development Bank. The union did not even raise eyebrow when several ministers of government are agents for the CBI program. Our union didn't grumble when government started flying as if there's air hostess and pilots. That is the union we have. And sometimes we have to resign ourselves to the fact that we deserve the government we have. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
That same stadium, they calling it elephant, a white elephant stand up there, no doing nothing, The same NDC people and them, They call it a white elephant, And now they rated it up. They must ask what year he put down on the ground there. They can't rate it up for them and it's theirs. They must ask what year he built. I don't understand some of these people and them, want to own what they never built. The houses or the Chinese give it, they come own it like if it's theirs. Not because they say government continue, but that's not how government continue. I don't understand what's going on with us, Mr. Pierre. The policemen and them are listening to what's going on there now. If the Prime Minister believe America stupid, they well lie, If they believe America people stupid, they well lie. Because you cannot expect to having a place where don't secure and putting prisoners there. You cannot do it. So the blame is he and
the Prime Minister not taking blame. The Commissioner of Police say that is above his pay grade, so they decide to put charges against the low rank and file workers.
I see them police and them could get liar. Just as who
Daughter, it's not easy to get $20,000 and $30,000 for lawyers to defend you. A lot of our lawyers lack integrity. We must know that.
Mr. Pierre, he have some liars say see what's going on and know what's going on in this Grenada.
These are not the days that do not sing and Carl Hudson Phillip and Derek Knights and Foster in St. Lucia. We have a group of lawyers now, they don't care about that.
They go get lawyers. They're going to get their rights. They believe any lie because he's one. He have any stupid one like he? No, he lies. Mr. Pierre, have a blessing.
Yes, scholar. We have to face the reality that the pendulum has turned against the low-income group. And it's easy We had the struggle of Uriah Buzz Butler. He spent 8 years in prison. We had the struggle of Eric Gary. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yeah, man. Good afternoon, man. How you doing?
Good, man.
Yeah, you talking about the promise of flying. But when the opposition was in office...
Culture man.
Yeah.
I made a statement that the Prime Minister is flying as if he's an air hostess. Is it true?
Mr. Pedro, give me...
Culture man, is it true?
We tell you to leave the country and...
Culture man. Culture man.
I listen to you.
I ask you, when I make a statement on radio, I look for challenge because I want to add. Culture man, you say you listen. I give you chance to talk.
The opposition used to fly to Rega and he to leave Mr. Gregory Boyne like the acting prime minister or Mr. what they call him. So now, you know what I mean? Give the man a chance, let what they're doing. Now people talk about the NMP bill this and that and that. But can you remember who the Google Bailey Hermitage project was signed below, which government? And the Pinefield Bridge, it was Mr. Nazimbok and Mr. Tillman. They go and sign for this project. Hold on. Yeah, they want to sign for this project. So give Jackie the Jack because this project in Hermitage going to sort out whoever. This was not signed below Dr. Kid Mitchell. That was Mr. Nazimbok. What is time for it? So don't come and say about how everything the NMP bill they claiming it and say it's dead. Stop that. Grenada belongs to everybody. Grenada belongs to all of us.
Okay, thank you, caller.
Wait.
You see, that's one of the challenge with you all. Deacon Mitchell told lies, and he said nothing was achieved in Grenada since 1983. Deacon Mitchell, the Prime Minister of Grenada, said nothing was achieved since 1983. And that is the reason that some people start to tell him what was done from 1983. He that go and juke my bonus. Everybody know government is a continuum. But when a leader come in and decide to lead by telling lies, interfering with the occult, lying to the elderly, the physically challenged, disadvantaged children, refusing to take responsibility, diluting the effectiveness of the police force, going in St. Lucia and cause problem, claiming that he go rent a biplane, and when he done, he pretend somebody tell him to buy it. So we cannot buy plane, we can rent plane because we have to have permission. When a prime minister stand up and suggest you could rent Green Lake truck because they're finishing 4:30 to pick mango and guava, something is wrong. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, me want to call back in. As though Cultureman and them, they abiding with Deacon Mitchell what he doing so much, as though they can't understand and listen when he speaks.
We are too tight on him.
He said that from 1983, nothing haven't done. Government have. That mean Nazimbok and them didn't do anything to you know.
Tillman didn't do nothing.
They can understand. They must listen and understand. But they abiding with him with the dirtiness to doing and the lie. So they can understand when people speaking. It's because look, he even let down. He talked bad against Nazimbok and them in St. Lucia and Tillman Thomas and them. What more? What? And they can understand when he go and stop it in 2013, the thing, and 2018 they get their ass cut again. You go tell me there is respect to senior above you that try to put you on top there, but they are abiding with the wickedness so much. But all of them just have to shame because they can't understand and listen when Deacon taking because Deacon is the God. And they can see the wickedness he's doing. They can listen to the wickedness he taking. Have a good day.
Deacon is an embarrassment. And the NDC knows he's an embarrassment. And he tells lies as if he has some disease or something, some pathological disease. In addition to that, they are plundering the coffers of this country. They were the one that claimed they were surprised at the amount of money that was left in the treasury. We declared pregnant. Yet they remove $150 from the elderly. And they tell lies. The Prime Minister and his team is associated with bribery. There's a lot of speculation on the ground that number 10 was paid over $160,000. We have speculation that the government received gifts of over 30,000 US. The government is hiding. They're hiding from Kalisha and Dr. Bob. The two journalists they promoted. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
And how are you doing, sir?
Great, man.
If it's one thing you're forgetting about Deacon, remember what he said in the UN about Haitian? And what happened afterwards? Yeah, so you have to add this one with all the rest you've been adding.
And this one is hurtful, you know, because the children of Christoph. And they believe in Grenada.
One dedication could have the last $3,000 and they pay the passage through coming because they tell themselves Grenada is the safest place for them.
And he run them. He go and lie in the United Nations. People have to, I don't know, the time has come for Grenadians to ask Deacon to change. Deacon is a highly certificated man. He could change his ways. But if you continue to support a leader that tell more lies than all other leaders put together from 3rd March 1967, Deacon has told more lies than all the leaders put together from 3rd March 1967. Deacon said morality is a private thing. Or how you could believe morality is a private thing? And he ain't taking responsibility. But they're charging ordinary corporal and constables. But none of his senior staff taking responsibility. As soon as he comes, he say he can't work for the money. You want to quote the Prime Minister of Singapore, and you only quote him in one issue, you know. He can't work for that money. And they raise the income for ordinary ministers $24,000. Is the money that caused them to close their eyes. More than 1/3. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, go right ahead.
That road was built on the side day. When they had to build the road, NDC send back CCC back their country.
Yeah.
Where they get the money to build the road?
You forget when the workers tell Chester Archers, you make us vote out with job.
What?
They send back CCC.
Do what? Send them that Tillman and them and themselves take CCC and send them back. CCC and build the road.
Yeah.
When they send them back afterwards, Dr. Mitchell come, the road start to build again because they come back.
Culture didn't know that. Culture was making noise about agriculture.
Please see them running them out and they don't know what's going on. People have just figured and they're rolling them out and they don't know what's going on. Read history before we call. We have to know what we say and then we call. When a man wrong, make them know they're wrong.
You see, we have propagated so much lies that now the truth coming, it boring.
That is lies.
Yeah, we have to promote the truth constantly. And if we promote the truth, our people will be better. We are not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. But we must promote the truth. This Prime Minister have the track record of telling the most lies than all other prime ministers. But if you add up all the lies told by all the prime ministers in Grenada, Deacon has surpassed them in under 2 years. Lied to the elderly, lied to the physically challenged. Even disadvantaged children did not escape the route. And his ministers, Deacon is not a dictator. He ain't dictating. He has used the coffers of the country to cloud the minds of his ministers. Their salary is $24,000. They can't afford to lose it. 4 members of his team, we understand, have money from GDB Bank. Set up some sham boards to provide, to be a parasite on the coffers of our country. That cannot be right. It cannot be right. And then we have individuals who benefit in no way from this vulture group of people trying to propagate them. I encourage people to stick with the truth. Yes, politicians normally be under a lot of scrutiny. So we must not say nothing about Deacon that is not the truth. But we have to be concerned, because if he is an aberrant political parasite, then he could do untold damage to the country. Already, you're hearing about the sale of GDB Bank. The commercialization, and I know some of them saying it's not sale, it's commercialization. There is no difference. The bank is moving out of the hand of Grenadians. And why the bank was set up? The bank was set up to provide assistance and loans for people who find it difficult to go to the commercial banks. So the conditions are easier. And the target group is people in the lower income group. The huskers, the traders, the informal sectors, the vendors. That is the target group. That is the target group that the bank don't want. So when he commercialized the bank, you were not able to get loan. Deacon has removed the low-income houses from the grasp of the ordinary man. So now you have to go to the bank to get a loan, to get a house. Now ask any manager, ask any businessman, ask any banker, ask any teacher. If a 59-year-old woman, or 58, or 57, or 60, who is having an income under $3,000 a month, could get a loan in a commercial bank. Ask them. Watch them in the eyes when they're speaking. If they're blinking, and they're dodging the line for you. The ministers is not seeking your interest. One minister you select, say you have to go and study. We understand $100,000. That is the information we have. All we seek verification from Deacon is ducking and hiding. The gracious offer involves $100,000. Plus, that individual is not losing pocket as a result of not being in cabinet. That is the most corrupt team that ever led this country post 1967. 3rd March 1967. And you must remember that date. 3rd March 1967. Grenada became an associated state. And as a result of that, we had full autonomy on our internal affairs. When we got independence, we already had full control, full autonomy of our internal affairs. So independence give us full autonomy on our foreign affairs. Today in Grenada, we have a third party dictating our foreign affairs, and the trade union is silent. All the government ministers is silent. Aside for the Minister of Foreign Affairs, because he spoke from the heart when he said it contradicts the Constitution and we shouldn't sell out our sovereignty. They canceled the ticket for him to travel. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, I understand that the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture have been changed again.
Well, the one that there wasn't good, so if you change the next one, it doesn't make a difference.
So if the one that there wasn't good, the one that's coming, is he good?
Well, he might be better. He might tell the government to pay it. You see, NDC has the worst track record where agriculture is concerned.
Yeah, Mr.
People
Mr. Bagwan, I understand, is a new permanent secretary.
Well, let us watch and see if Mr. Bagwan going to make a difference.
Well, I mean, that's about the third or fourth.
Well, yes, because Persuader was not good. The Minister of Agriculture say, Kala, you in tongue long, you know. The Minister of Agriculture want to get Greentel truck to pick mango and guava and coconut. Not even mad people in the madhouse saying this thing. So it means something is inherently wrong with this bunch. Look at what they did to Marketing Board. Look at what they did to Grand Bay Estate. Look at what they did to the individuals involved in the pest management unit.
Since those have taken over, I haven't seen any.
You expect anything better from those? You expect anything better, caller?
So we might see that they're changing those just now from Minister of Agriculture.
Well, who you put? I've not been asking for change because you don't put Dennis Cornwall is the only hope in NDC. The only hope. And I don't know if he let in $24,000. And I don't know if he have loan in the bank. That is the only restraint I see now. I can't believe Dennis Cornwall letting $24,000 clout all his sense of morality. And I don't know if he have any loan in the bank. But he is the only hope.
I hope as the Prime Minister publishes the gentleman, the police name, I hope he'll publish the name that the ministers that got loan to. Well,
we need to ask that, but in all fairness, the Prime Minister running from even the journalists that he promoted, you know. Dr. Bob and Callister, he promoted them, not me. And he running from them now. They are professionals, and they could lean a little and play around. But eventually they know their reputation will be desecrated if they don't act or pretend to be professionals. The Prime Minister running from them?
Well, I listen to other islands and I think we definitely are behind where agriculture is concerned.
What we need to do is to hope other islands don't take the decision we took and choose a bunch of greedy political neophytes and put them in power.
Because we're really not moving agricultural.
Well, I don't expect us to move in a hurry while this government there. This government have the work. You remember it's them that cut down banana nutmeg?
Yes.
They have the worst track record where agriculture is concerned. And the previous minister calling the individuals lunatics and idiots. What do you expect?
Anyway, I really find this moving around ministers in a short. I don't have a problem with moving the ministers.
Let us hope that Bagwan is said.
Time, yes.
Let's hope Bagwan get a vision and a dream and start to change things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is the reality in Grenada. And as I said on many occasions, the Prime Minister of Grenada is a new kid on the block where politics is concerned. We don't know him. He didn't have a track record. We couldn't predict what he's going to do. He told such sophisticated and unrealistic lies that the ordinary man believed him. But he continued to tell lies. He continued to tell lies. The time has come for the trade union to wake up. How could you shut your mouth when you hear GDB Bank is about to be sold or commercialized? How could you shut your mouth when we hearing that more than 1/3 of the ministers of the government is taking millions of dollars out of the bank? And we understand that these men couldn't come, they could not qualify for loan from the commercial bank. Some of them was on the point of bankruptcy. And I understand now, don't know how true it is, seeking clarity, that some of them sold the assets they gave the bank. Oh, how that could be? From the time this government coming from one to the other, here one sold a car they lent him. Several of the ministers are agents for the CBI program. And based upon my unprofessional estimation, they're likely to make about 30 million a year. It could be much more or a little less. They've been traveling the country, them is air hostess, going to Dubai. You know, the Prime Minister have to recover. The Prime Minister have to recover from this thing. You have a country to run. You can't be doing that to the economy. You're going to put the economy in free fall. And if the economy go in free fall, the trade union will be affected. Yes, caller, welcome.
You are a member of the CBI bank. You walk in there.
Caller, we on the internet, you know. That's not hard, you know. The government publish these information and you go on the internet and you do research. You don't have to be a member of CBI to know that. You have to understand that this is a day where information is on the tip of our fingers. And I don't involve in breaking news, caller. I don't like breaking news. I like when I could speak with the information with authority. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
Let me before you go. That last caller, the CBI money they in them houses in St. David's, that one. 2, is Dennis Cornwall still a CBI agent alongside Mr. Deacon Mitchell and Jesse Menard, known NDC people. Right? Let's talk about corruption. Anyhow, anytime you hear a politician uses the word agenda instead of policy and plans, it tells you the level of how they're thinking. And to come it off, they put together transformative agenda. That means is either you're with me or you're against me, and to hell with the rest. If a politician doesn't use the word policies and plans and direction in the same sentence where it comes to developing a country, it means they are not sincere. And since day one, I've been hearing this thing about transformative agenda and an agenda. If you look at what agenda means in the dictionary and encyclopedia, it simply means that you have to go and abide by what I say, what I do, and to hell with the rest. They can take it and put it in the pipe and smoke it. I'm not on this agenda. To hell with them. Have a good afternoon.
Yes, in the government, I think some of these scholars, you better take some homework now. Eh? You have to tell us what is Deacon mean by restorative justice. We believe it is political vengeance. Deacon set up the Ministry of Transformation and Implementation, MIT. We believe that is a ministry for political mischief. And they purposely put Andy in it because Andy have a people kind of like Andy. But remember, this is the eyes of March. And sometimes there was a cry, beware the eyes of March. It was in that period that the legitimate government was overthrown. And I ask this question. Maurice Bishop and his team was well crowded with a battery of lawyers. All the issue they accused Gary for, and they said they had proof. Why they didn't take the matter to court? Why they didn't take the matter to court? They never did. Why? And those of you, every time you see that $50 when it come out with Maurice Bishop picture on it, those of you from St. Andrews, remember Broco that was castrated and Clotilda that was executed. If you're from Monkridge and St. Patrick's, remember the day Monkridge turned a graveyard. If you're from the Tivoli area, remember that Maurice Bishop singled out these communities for special treatment. Remember that we had 3,000 Grenadians in jail. And remember the Rastafarians in Hopeville. Every time you see Maurice Bishop face on that $50, remember those things. These individuals cannot cry for themselves. But we must not forget the atrocities that was done to them. We sit down now, remember in slavery. And I tell my friends always, remember that the black man sold us in slavery too. Slavery was wrong. The white man was wrong to buy us. But the black man was wrong to sell his own people. And that is the last program for the week, and we're back with you Monday between 12 and 1 for another opportunity to punch. Thank you.